first and foremost, as you guys probably already know, we are the #1 network for Black professionals in the state of Ohio, and we are expanding nationwide. Today's agenda, so I'm going to go through a little bit about what we've been up to and some of the major things that we've accomplished in the last since our last meeting. We're going to do a networking session where you are grouped into a room with about 4 other people, so you get to know them and exchange information. We have some guest speakers today, which are organizations that have sponsored Black Achievers. One is Archway with Alicia Kittner, Leadership Council, and also Gilman Partners. So we have 3 of our partners. They'll speak today for about 7 minutes apiece and let you know some of the amazing opportunities that they have for our group. We'll have another networking session where you get to meet another group of individuals and discuss a topic. And then we have someone who's near and dear to my heart, which is Maggie Anderson. She's a national speaker. She will speak and give a keynote address on her background and her book, Our Black Year. And we'll go into an investment club introduction. So as we discussed before, we are trying to pool resources and basically allow our members to invest together to build generational wealth for the Black community and help uplift our community. So we're really excited about that. So a little bit about us for those who are new to the group, or for those of you who've been to a few events. We basically, our mission is to connect, educate, and economically empower the African American community. So that is our mandate. We started in 2018, as you heard, a few members were the original meeting. And we also are now a 501c3 in 2020. So we did that in January, so we're a formal organization. And this picture here is a great representation of our leadership team at the last pre-COVID situation where we were able to have this in person. Hopefully in 2022, we can go back to in-person events, but we'll have to wait and see how that goes towards the tail end of the year. We have formalized, so we have a board of directors. So it's myself, so David Yoha, and Leandre McFadden at Fifth Third Bank, along with myself at Fifth Third. We are the founding board for the organization, and that'll grow over time. We have our key advisors, which is Carl Satterwright with RCF Group, the great Mary Stagaman, who is here right now, with Stagaman LLC, and Bill Tucker with Flywheel. And we have major donors. Philip Holloman is the former president of Cintas, Alicia Kittner at Archwave, and Scott Provenzer, a Knight Philanthropist. So we are growing by leaps and bounds because our mission to help Black professionals is something that's resonating, especially after George Floyd and all the things that you've seen. So a little bit about us, the traction that we've had. We have over 4,000 members that are part of our organization in the greater Cincinnati area and 30,000 nationwide. And we want to grow and double that in next year. We have 540 of you that are Black business owners, which is important for us to support Black businesses. And that's one of the things that Maggie Anderson will speak about in a little bit. And we have 12 community partnerships that we've established. So we'll kind of go through some of that here in a minute too. If you are a business owner or a consumer, we have launched a business directory, which you can get to from our website. It is in beta right now. So we have about 300 business owners that have logged in, created accounts, and have set this up so that you can find them. And it's important to find Black-owned businesses. Only about 2% of our buying goes to Black-owned businesses. We need to increase that to 10%, and that will shift millions of dollars to Black-owned businesses, have them grow, and then also have them generate more jobs. So make sure you go to our website, click on the business directory link, and then you can go and sign up for your free account if you're a business owner or if you know someone who's a business owner. And then we'll start promoting this through our newsletter in Q1 and really start trying to drive traffic to get people to do more and more business with Black-owned firms. The other thing that we are launching, which is very exciting, is in Q1 is diversetalentpool.com. So it's not live yet, but we will be getting funding for that shortly. And what that will allow us to do is connect all of our members with all of the amazing opportunities for career advancement, board seats, job fairs, resume search, all of the bells and whistles, and also connect you to each other. There should be like chat functions and ability to interact with each other. And we're looking for having sponsorship support from Greater Cincinnati Foundation. We have partnership already with the regional chamber, and Gilman Partners is on. They'll talk about how they do recruitment and some of the opportunities that they have available, and they'll be using this platform as well. And Kroger has signed on to be a supporter of Black Achievers as well. So there's a lot going on in Q1, but we'll make sure that you guys, as soon as it comes out, sign up, create an account, and be an active participant, and great things will happen. A lot of opportunities are coming because Black Achievers. The ultimate Black business professional. I have to throw this in here as a congratulations because it was so stressful with the election and everything. But we have Kamala Harris, the first VP-elect, the first woman to ever be elected vice president, which is amazing. First Black woman, first South Asian woman vice president-elect, first vice president-elect to have graduated from the HBCU. I mean, that's unbelievable. And then the first member of AKA sorority elected vice president. So this is a huge thing for especially our Black girls, give them their self-esteem, and just Black people in general. It's like we're ascending to the highest levels of government once there's racial equity. And we can do that in our business, in our career, in all aspects of our lives. Just takes us creating a community like we're doing at Black Achievers, working together, working with organizations that want to work with us, that have diversity initiatives, and then the sky's the limit. So the next 10 or 20 years should be quite amazing for us in general. Want to give a shout out to our 2020 leadership team. This is the group that made all of this stuff possible and helped us during COVID, which is amazing. So just very quickly, Erica Foley, Teresa Moore, Ken Best, I think he's on, Regina Bowman. We have Taylor Carson, Tiffany Lux, Hassan Stiles, and Vanessa Enoch, who is on, and Sean is on, Michael Braswell, and Wayne Sloan. We have essentially 7 different committees. So we have a mentorship committee, marketing, partnerships, investment, social media, event planning, and membership. So those are the areas that you could participate in if you wanted. Another group of individuals a part of that is Leandra McFadden, who is on today, and he'll speak a little bit later about our investment opportunities. Cinda Larry, Michelle Murray, who is on today, Mr. Malik Johnson, Quinette Brown, Stephen Mosby, Lawrence Chappell, Kimberly Lancaster, and the great Janae Broomfield. Thank you for coming. And Jennifer Ingram, who's also joined our organization. So that's just a shout out to our 2020 leaders. It was very, very hard when everything shut down, and we're looking forward to spinning up our 2021. So if you would like info on joining our 2021 leadership team, please email contact@blackachievers.com for more information. You know, we would really like your support and help in 2021, and we have a lot of initiatives that will be great for your resume, for your career growth, and you get to meet a lot of extremely successful people and create community. So please send us an email and let us know, and I'll follow up. So I'm glad everybody had a great time in the breakout room. We will have another one, if not 2 more. So the following organizations are committed to diversity and inclusion, which is amazing to partner with them. They are creating opportunities for African-American community. The first one is Archwave, and Alicia Kittner and her team. She's the CEO of Archwave. They're the title sponsor of Black Achievers, which is amazing. Secondly, we'll go Leadership Council with Jenny Berg. She's the executive director, and they help with training for boards. And then finally, we'll have Gilman Partners with Michelle Plessinger. She's a partner there, and they'll explain their opportunities. So we're going to turn this over to Alicia, if she's here, or Janice.
Hey, I'm here, Michael. Hi.
Oh, hey, I didn't see you. Snuck in on me. Okay,
well,
I'm gonna stop. Hey.
So hi, everybody.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are all of you?
Hello.
Fantastic, fantastic.
Nice to
hello.
see you. Oh, nice to see you. I can try to share my screen. I have some slides, but it's been such a long day in such a long month. I don't want to take you through a presentation. I know that lots of you are familiar with Archwave. As Michael said, I'm Alicia Kittner. I'm the president and CEO. If I hit share my screen, will I get there? Do you think?
Yeah, you can. David made you co-host, so you can share.
Okay. I'm not really good at this part. So,
that's okay. We'll be patient.
Yeah, I don't know if this is actually good.
No, go ahead. Dave, have you made her co-host?
Yes.
Okay, you're definitely co-host, so you can hit the share button.
Good to see it. Yeah, and then maybe that'll work. I think it's my computer. So Archwave is delighted to be partnering with Black Achievers in the year ahead, and looking forward to getting to know many of you, all of you. Some of you I already know, and it's great to see familiar faces. Thank you for those of you who have been involved with Archwave for a really long time, and those of you who are looking for ways to connect to the arts in Cincinnati. I hope that you'll see Archwave as a way to potentially do that in the months ahead. We are the region's Arts Council. We call ourselves the engine for the arts. Yeah, hi Tori, I see you in the chat box. Good to see you here. That we've been running the region's community arts campaign, if you can believe it, for 7 decades. So wow. The Arts Wave campaign, yeah, is like an embedded part of this community, and you really can't separate the variety and the quality of arts institutions and some of the vibrancy that we see from the arts from that long decade of community involvement. So every year Arts Wave is asking the community to partner with us so that we can invest in over 100 arts organizations and arts-based projects every year. And we believe the arts have some real superpowers that I think align with the objectives of Black achievers. First of all, to make Cincinnati the most welcoming and inclusive place that it can be, so that we all want to put down roots here and stay here and engage with one another. And the arts are a great way to come around in our community. We have a circle of African-American leaders for the arts, and Sam Moore is co-chair this year, and I know Sam is part of this meeting as well. So hi, Sam. He's the one with the really great deep voice. That's a way that during the annual Arts Wave campaign, which happens in the spring, we gather Black leaders and really figure out how to invest most meaningfully in our arts landscape. And I'm really proud to tell you that over the last 15 months, Arts Wave has invested more than $1 million in Black-led organizations and Black artists in our region, and a variety of projects, a number of things underway for a really long time, organizations that you may or may not be familiar with, ranging from Biokoto, our African dance and drumming organization, to Learning Through Art, led by the amazing Kathy Wade, and the newer up and coming organization, Revolution Dance Theater, led by David Choate. Things that have been incubating and providing incredible impact in our region for many, many years. And then of course, in 2020, we had to dig deeper and realize that there's so much more that the arts can and must do to bridge divides in our community, to work toward greater justice and ultimately greater inclusivity and mutual respect. And so we doubled down in 2020, and we were really proud to sponsor all the artists who made the amazing Black Lives Matter mural right around Juneteenth in short order. We made sure that all those artists were compensated. Then we funded the outdoor art museum that was part of the Cincinnati Music Festival. And then the Lincoln Heights mural, the first public art project in Lincoln Heights, led by the amazing Daryl Mantia Daniels. And then we were really proud to help Rico Grant bring the Black and Brown Faces exhibit to the Cincinnati Art Museum. So these are just some of the things that we've been actively engaged in over the past several months. There's more to do. We're super excited about what's ahead. The arts in Cincinnati, have been severely disrupted this year, as many of your businesses may have been too, but there's incredible resiliency and innovation, and that's how we lift everybody up, right? Is enabling that resiliency and innovation so that we have a much better and brighter tomorrow. Going forward, I'm really pleased that you have another new member tonight, Janice Liebenberg. She's director of our corporate campaign and equitable arts advancement. I don't think we can share the screen somehow, but Janice is here and she's probably waving, and I know she introduced herself in the chat. She'll be a regular member of this group, and I hope you'll connect with her and with Sam Moore for our Circle of African American Leaders. You can find things to do at artswave.org/guide, which is our online calendar, and lots of other connection points along the way. We have a board development program just for arts organizations that matches you with board positions on boards. So that's an ongoing invitation. And we actively look for volunteers in a lot of different ways to do our work. And we're interested in your work. So please feel free to get in touch with Janice, as part of the Black Achievers membership now, and always I'm an open door and easy to find, and look forward to connecting as well. So thanks for inviting me here tonight, Michael, and congratulations for this incredible success already with Black Achievers, and look forward to seeing how you build and grow. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Alicia. That was amazing. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. All right, so next on the list is the amazing Jenny Berg with the Leadership Council. Dave, if you want to unmute her.
I got it. Thanks. Thanks, Michael. Thanks, David. And thanks for the opportunity to talk with everyone today. We're happy to see some very familiar faces, and those of you that we've worked with. I see some of our BOLD graduates. Give a shout out to BOLD, Jordan and Dion and a few others. And what Leadership Council for Nonprofits, just like Alicia said, the Archwaves exist. We exist as the network for nonprofit agencies in our greater Cincinnati region. And what our focus is really developing leaders and building the capacity of the nonprofit organizations. And we are so pleased to partner with Michael and your group completely, because it's a wonderful opportunity. And board service is really one of the best ways an individual can build their network, build their career, build their skills, and lots of other things. So this is a wonderful opportunity for us to meet with all of you. And Jack will be telling you more about BOLD in a second. But we really work, there's a real problem with nonprofit boards, in that there's very, very little diversity. And there's also very little diversity in the executive ranks of our nonprofits. So we are working hard to change that, and are pleased to partner with, I know there's some nonprofit folks on this call as well, which is great. I saw June reached out, or June said something about being a nonprofit. June, we should talk. And so it's just wonderful to be here and see so many of you, and I look forward to getting to know you in the future. I'm going to turn it over to Jack.
Thanks, Jenny.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jack Fitzgerald. I am the BOLD Program Coordinator at the Leadership Council for Nonprofits. So I've had the great privilege to work with Jenny, and had I didn't have the privilege program while it was with Leadership Council, but he served as a great steering committee member for us, and understand through talking with Michael that Jordan will serve somewhat as the liaison between Black Achievers and the Leadership Council, should anyone be interested in this program. So a little bit of information about the BOLD program for you. Here we go. So what we want you to know about BOLD is that it is a program that is geared towards developing board leaders. We are here to educate and empower you to serve the nonprofit community as a nonprofit board member. So BOLD prepares participants through a robust curriculum that is put together by a volunteer steering committee that is made up of executive directors from the region, as well as graduates from the BOLD program who were trained under United Way, and also the Leadership Council for Nonprofits. We are committed to connecting racially diverse leaders to more than 200 local nonprofits. We advance company goals through leadership development, recruitment and retention, and corporate social responsibility. So we're finding that many companies want to work with the BOLD program to offer training and, again, leadership development opportunities to develop their employees and create more civically minded individuals. And further, we believe that we're strengthening the community through a commitment to inclusive and diverse nonprofit leadership. So I want to share a little bit about the problem, a problem that we're seeing on nonprofit boards. There is an organization called BoardSource. If you have not heard of BoardSource, they are a tremendous resource for nonprofit board education. They have a lot of reading materials. And BoardSource conducts a report every 3 years called the Leading with Intent study. The 2017 study found that boards are actually no more diverse than they were 30 years ago. And as we study and as Board Source studies recruitment priorities, that is unfortunately unlikely to change. But this is where BOLD steps in. This is where the Leadership Council for Nonprofits steps in. And this is where Black Achievers becomes a wonderful partner, in that we are looking to take a strategic and intentional approach to changing the status quo. So through our formalized partnership with Black Achievers, with you all, we believe we'll be able to advance diversity, equity, and inclusion in the nonprofit community. And we've actually pledged that our classes will have 50% minority representation. A little bit about our curriculum. So we focus on the roles of a nonprofit board member. We focus on legal responsibilities. We have a session on nonprofit finance that's taught by BKD, CPAs, and advisors. We have a session on strategic planning. We discuss fundraising and the board's role there. We discuss diversity and equity and inclusion and how that affects board composition. And we talk about succession planning, actually with our great friends who will be talking next at Gilman Partners. And really our faculty members are experts in the areas of the curriculum that we're covering in the class. So this is a little bit about what you could expect should you decide to go through the BOLD program. And just briefly, some on our process. So we build the cohort with employees of local companies. We educate and motivate over the 8 weeks. Then we have a connection point. That's where Jordan served as a mentor. He was helping connect people that were trained through the program onto nonprofit boards. And then we hope to create a community of practice where individuals are sharing their challenges, sharing their learnings and experiences once they have gotten onto a board and begin serving. So would love to talk with folks more offline if they're interested. I will share my email in the chat, as well as a video that will share and provide you more information on the benefits that nonprofit board service could have on your career. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Hey, thanks, Jack. We really appreciate all the details behind that. Looks very interesting, and please contact them or contact me directly if you guys have questions about the BOLD program. We can go from there. So the next individual that we have is Michelle Plessinger. She is a partner at Gilman Partners. Her and Angel Beats will give us some information about employment opportunities for Black Achievers members.
Thanks, Michael. Hi, everyone. This is a great evening and such great energy. I love it. I'm Michelle Plessinger. I'm a partner with Gilman Partners, and my colleague Angel Beats is here tonight, and she'll be presenting with me as well. And I know another one of our colleagues, David Ginsburg, is in attendance tonight. We're really happy to be here, and we're in such great company with all of you, along with Alicia Kittner and Jenny Berg and Jack Fitzgerald. I saw Michonne Stiles somewhere in the group as well, and have had great experience working with ArtsWave and also with Leadership Council, as Jack had mentioned. I'm on one of the faculty members on the BOLD leadership training. So Angel and I will speak for a few moments about Gilman Partners. And on this slide, you can see this is really our overall mission, is to strengthen leadership teams and elevate the talent in our communities. And we do that through our executive and professional search services, and also through Elevate, which is our leadership development program. You know, we have been committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion, but quite frankly, never as intentional as we are now. And we realize that we just haven't done enough to create a broader network and an inclusive network, nor have we necessarily placed enough racially diverse professionals in our community. And so I reached out to Michael, gosh, it's been a little while now, Michael, but really to begin to build a relationship with him and with Black Achievers and all of you, so that we can overall reach a goal of placing more racially diverse professionals in leadership roles and also in management positions throughout Cincinnati and also in our national searches. You know, Michael, you welcomed us graciously into the group, and we really appreciate that. And you can see, Angel, if you want to go to the next slide, an overview here of the areas that we focus in our search work. So we're a firm of about 16 professionals, and we've been around for a long time. We've been around actually 40 years. We're celebrating 40 years. And we complete about 100 searches a year with an average salary of the placements that we make of about 100K. And you can see on this slide some of the areas of expertise, including CEO and executive leadership roles. We also do searches for board members. But we also focus on finance and accounting, sales and marketing, nonprofit leadership roles, HR, ops and supply chain, and also real estate and construction. And so the majority of our searches will fall into one of those categories. About 50% of our searches have a national component. And what I mean by that is either our client is based outside of Cincinnati, or we're doing a search outside of Cincinnati, or potentially candidates are, we're doing a national search and a national reach for candidates to fit a need for one of our clients. This slide is just giving you a sample, a snapshot of what our current searches are today. And I encourage you to follow us at Gilman Partners or go to our website at gilmanpartners.com. But currently we are searching, and I asked Michael, I said, I don't want to be too self-serving, but we are doing a search for a recruiter or two at Gilman Partners. And we are partnering with ArtsWave, and we're doing their search for a VP of Community Investments. That's an active search. Cincinnati Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired is looking for a CEO, and we're leading that nonprofit search for them as well. And then you can see this is just a sample of a couple of searches we're doing right now for one of our clients that's really in construction engineering. We're doing some national searches for them as well. Again, that's just a sample of what we're doing on, what we're working on. Angel, you want to go to the next slide?
Right.
Talk about Elevate. Yep.
It's nice to see you all tonight. You know, one of the things that we're working on this year in particular is thinking more about the second part of our mission, which is really to elevate the talent in our communities. And we're doing that partly through what's called GP Elevate, which is our executive leadership program. And this is not like a lot of others in town, in that we really are looking specifically at high potential leaders who are preparing to move into executive leadership roles. And so we're helping them step outside of their day-to-day job function and really see their organization from a broader perspective, which is where the name Elevate comes from in the title of the program. These are cohort-based programs. They last about 6 months. And by cohort-based, we're talking about one person from different organizations. So we're not allowing more than one person per organization to join the group. That way you can really build your network with other executive leaders and have an opportunity to learn from other organizations as well. And so these leaders come to us for 6 months. They meet one full day a month for 6 months. And we talk about topics like talent management. How do you as a leader attract, retain, and develop talent in your organization? We talk about creating organizational strategy and then really how to execute that strategy and communicate it to your team. We have a whole session on finance, developing understanding of finances, whether that's reading P&Ls and balance sheets, whether it's thinking about the key performance indicators you're using in your organization and how to how to think about underperformance. And then we move into some of the softer skills too, crucial conversations and interpersonal communication, executive presence, and working in an executive team. And ultimately the goal is to prepare the leaders for executive leadership positions across the city. So we have leaders from nonprofit, we have leaders from manufacturing, professional services, a whole wide range of organizations. So it's been fun to watch them not only grow in their careers, but also create a really tight network of other professionals. Michelle, do you want to talk to us for a minute about the connection between Gilman Partners and Black Achievers next year?
Yeah, so you will start seeing us show up in really starting to send some job postings over to Michael that I know, Michael, you will plan on sending out to the members And we'll also start attending some of the networking events, and it may not be just me and Angel. We'll include some of our other colleagues at Gilman Partners as well. And again, I think we're really looking forward to a great partnership and a great 2021 to really continue to network our roles and opportunities, and hopefully get you more involved here with Gilman Partners too.
Thank you guys very much. Appreciate you guys coming, and thanks for all those great opportunities, and looking forward to the partnership growing.
Thank you, Michael.
All right, everyone.
Likewise.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and continue to the next step. Dave.
Okay, hi everyone. Really great information from our partners. Thanks for sharing the information. We really appreciate working with you.
Everybody enjoying themselves so far? I'm going to introduce our keynote presentation today. Her name is Maggie Anderson. She is amazing. She is the author of Our Black Year. She's been on NBC, BET, all over the place with her economic empowerment called The Experiment. You can go to authormaggieanderson.com to purchase her book. And she's basically going to give us an overview of the year that her story, and the year that she spent supporting Black-owned businesses. As you know, one of the main mandates of Black Achievers is to start supporting Black-owned businesses so that we can increase basically the wealth in our community and the job creation. And we're going to spend 20 or 25 minutes or so with Maggie explaining her story. So I'm going to turn it over to Maggie right now and let her do that. And I'm going to stop sharing.
Can you,
Maggie,
this is Yolanda. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. So
Oh, it's about time. I've heard everything. I just haven't been able to tune in.
Okay.
Y'all can't see me, can y'all?
All right, Maggie.
No.
Ready?
I'm ready.
All right, there's Maggie Anderson. We're going to stop sharing. Hi, Maggie. All you. Mute. Dave,
Just
everyone.
waiting on the mute.
Mute.
Maggie, you on mute.
He muted me too. Okay. Are we all set? Hey, everybody. Good evening. Before I begin, I want to also join in on thanking all the sponsors for your precious support. I hope to honor you and your contributions tonight. Thanks so much for being here. And thank you to all the brilliant leaders and members and volunteers in the Black Achievers family. Thank you for tonight. Thank you for being here tonight. And thank you for inviting me to speak tonight. I'm humbled you would recognize my family and our stand and study to completely live off the businesses, professionals, and products of our Black community for an entire year at this wonderful occasion and during these tough and trying times. I love you guys. I love and miss Cincinnati so much. About 10 years ago, Publishers Weekly, in reviewing my book called this issue, The Lack of Support of Black Businesses and the Rapid Exit of Dollars from Black Communities, a dynamite subject, and my family's experiment, historic and effective. And the Library Journal said my book successfully illuminates the roadblocks faced by Black business owners and the racial divide that continues to persist in the US economy. They also said that my book will appeal to students of sociology and economics, as well as those looking for inspiration to effect positive change in their communities. Alfred Edmond, editor of Black Enterprise, said, "The Andersons' economic odyssey is nothing short of heroic." But we didn't create the empowerment experiment, then see it through. We didn't impose our Black year on our 2- and 3-year-old daughters for kudos or great book reviews. We did it to get here. And I think that's why most of you showed up today. You are here for the same reason John and I took that stand. We all have that pain and that power. And today, I hope we're here to do something smart, strong, and strategic with it. Think about it like this. This is one of the things President Barack Obama taught me at the University of Chicago Law School when I was his student in his constitutional law class. This is what then Professor Obama told me. Every ideal that distinguishes our country, every major tenet of our democracy, the right to a fair trial, the right to vote, right to free speech, labor rights, civil rights, equal housing and employment opportunity, all of those wonderful principles came out of or were perfected by the African-American struggle. Professor Obama taught me that. We've always had to push and prod America towards its promise, towards its greatness. And America has fallen way short of its ideal its promise when it comes to economic equality and justice. It's time for us to push and prod and provoke America again. I want my little girls to know that not only they can buy from JCPenney's, that was the 50s and 60s, or work at JCPenney's. We fought for that. My children need to know that they can own JCPenney's. So maybe it's time we fight for that too. Let's unite and fight for an America with all kinds of people shopping at a retailer or grocery store started by a Black family, looking for our franchises and consumer brands and designers, growing our global conglomerates, depending on our expertise and professionals, banking with us, staying in our hotels, just like we do everyone else. Let's unite, all of us, for an America where an already broken and bereft Black neighborhood is not the only place where every other ethnic group and majority enterprise can set up shop and achieve the American dream. How about an America where there's some reciprocity for that, which is manifest in thriving Black businesses in Little Italy and Chinatown and Koreatown and Greektown and downtown and the affluent, predominantly white suburbs? Why not? Why does it only go the other way around? An America where it's not a ridiculous notion to a Black child that someone like her can own a grocery chain or a drugstore, that the toaster her mama buys at Walmart, the paint her uncle got from the Home Depot was possibly made by a Black family company, where that Black child can go to the corner candy store or bakery and see an owner who looks like and looks out for her. An America where middle-class, working-class Black families and Black-owned businesses, storefronts, and professionals are welcomed, a draw, not a deterrent or a disturbance in burgeoning, beautiful neighborhoods. I'm fighting for that America. For just over 10 years, it's been 10 years since the empowerment experiment, my public stand and study to buy Black only for an entire year. Now, you know our stand and sacrifice made headlines, front pages, Washington Post, Chicago Tribune, LA Times, New York Times, major segments on CNN, CSAN, CBS News, MSNBC, Fox News, ABC News, BET News, Tom Joyner, Black Enterprise, Essence, countless TV and radio shows, newspapers, magazines, and blogs. We touched millions with our stand. And then I wrote my book, Our Black Year, which is a tribute to our country's Black business history and a detailed account of our stand. Then Kellogg at Northwestern completed the landmark study based on my family's receipts and the data we collected. That study proved that close to 1 million new American jobs could be created if just some of us would make some small changes and sacrifices to buy Black. Here are a few more highlights. We spent or otherwise invested a little over $94,000 that year with Black businesses that we would not have otherwise. Over 90% of our spending went into underserved, predominantly Black areas. We went without. We were disappointed by the number of markets and industries where African Americans still suffer from a complete lack of representation. We were disheartened by our own people's lack of pride and solidarity. Our hearts ached seeing up close what my people, Black people, have to go through in these retail and food deserts. Can't get a fresh piece of fish or a banana, forced to settle for inferior goods and service, extortionate prices, and enduring disrespect from shop owners who don't look like and won't live in the community, but come into the community every day, remove that padlock from the steel gates or bars, take Black money through the slit under that bulletproof glass, and then at the end of the day, they put that steel door back down, put that padlock back on, and drive home to the suburbs and enclaves to build up their local tax bases and school systems, send their kids to college and buy their dream homes and vacation with poor Black people's hard-earned wealth. It was hurtful and fearful being called a racist, a Nazi, and the other N-word, getting death threats and hate mail. And it still hurts my heart when I think about what I put my little girls through, begging me, their mama, for fruit, for toys, going to school crying because the shoes are too tight, and belly poking out of their shirts, and coming home crying because they were teased. All because it took us 5 whole months to find one Black-owned shop offering toddler clothing and shoes. I made my little girls eat gas station food like old putrid bologna and overpriced, oversugared cereal for dinner, because the one Black-owned grocery store we could find closed 5 months before we finished our year. All those businesses we sought and supported, loved and lived off of, the ones you'll read about in the book, not just the grocery store, they're all gone. And then 1 month after we finished our Black year, my mother died in my arms, losing a hard-fought battle with pancreatic cancer. My immigrant mother, a Cuban farm girl who never made it to high school, but was wise enough to teach me that despite what our Cuban peers in Miami told us, our being from Cuba didn't make us not Black or less Black. That just meant our ancestors got dropped off a little earlier. That's was what my mother taught me. That was my Mima. Mima was sick and dying the whole year. And I know that she suffered longer than she would have just to see her only American-born child fulfill this pledge to our Black community and our country. Yes, we lost so much that year, but we learned so much too. And that's really significant because before that year, John and I thought we had it all and that we knew it all. My husband, John, is from Detroit. He left to get his undergraduate degree in economics at Harvard, minored in Latin. Then my courageous, gorgeous nerd got his MBA in economics and entrepreneurial finance at Northwestern. He's a financial advisor now. So if any of you are looking for one, for a Black entrepreneur to support, take it from your learned keynote speaker. He is the best, he is brilliant, and he is definitely Black. I grew up in Miami in an underserved area called Liberty City. And then I went to college at Emory University. While I was there, I was able to work as an aide to our recently passed on civil rights hero, Congressman John Lewis. After Atlanta, I headed to Chicago for grad school like John, but I went to the University of Chicago for my MBA and my law degree and was able to serve with and learn from another civil rights hero, then law professor, community organizer, Barack Obama, turned 44th president of the United States. And we fell in love while we were both in graduate school. Now that's John and I, not the president and I. We found, I don't want Michelle mad at me. We found great jobs at big companies. We bought a home in a pricey suburb. We had our own 2 beautiful little girls and we're living out our fancy fairy tale life. And we supported our community, you know, sort of. We were active in the youth ministry at the Black church. John was a mentor with 100 Black men. We voted Black. We hurt when Black people got shot. We got happy when Black folks were nominated for the awards and Black coaches made it to the Super Bowl. We're teaching our daughters to love themselves, their God, their neighbor, their country, and their skin. We were Black, just not buying Black, just like so many, most proud Black people. But everything else, very, very Black. Y'all know what I mean. We tithed, we donated to the UNCF. Wasn't that enough? Philanthropy is commendable, but it must not cause the philanthropist to overlook the circumstances of economic injustice which make philanthropy necessary. Dr. King said that. So what are those circumstances of economic injustice and what are we supposed to do about them? In the Asian American communities, the dollar circulates in their banks and retailers and professionals for 28 days before it's spent with outsiders. In the Jewish communities in America, the circulation period is about 19 to 21 days. And that's why these groups have the lowest unemployment and incarceration rates and the highest household income and educational achievement. In the Black community, the dollar lives for 6 hours. So what could one couple do about that? We didn't know, but we did know some other facts. That before integration during Dr. King's young life, when we had the locally owned businesses, our dollars circulated within the community for years, hundreds of millions in our hotels and hospitals, department stores, hardware stores, grocery stores, dry cleaners, accountants, lawyers, bakers, mechanics, and through our shipping yards and steel mills, sugar mills, farming regions, all the property that we owned and passed on, stock brokerages, insurance companies, and banks, and nationally, unemployment was at the same level as that of whites and sometimes lower than that of whites from 1880 all the way through 1940. The employment gap that we see now and attached to the color of our skin only materialized with integration. Before that, lower because we employed each other in our self-sustained, vibrant neighborhoods in Tulsa, Durham, Tampa, Louisville's Russell neighborhood, Sistrunk Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale, Brownsville in Chicago, Harlem, Auburn Avenue in Atlanta, Magic City in Birmingham, Walnut Hills and Lincoln Avenue in Cincinnati, and so much more. This is what young King saw growing up. He saw how Madam C.J. Walker, the mother of the Black hair care industry and the first Black woman millionaire, made those millions, and she enabled the NAACP and the National Conference on Lynching. He saw how the Black McDonald's owners and the Black New York Life agents maintained our legal defense funds. The Black homeowners offered collateral and bailed our jailed marchers out. Hotel owners gave shelter and helped when the marchers, the everyday freedom fighters, got fired from their jobs, or they were hurt or hospitalized and threatened. We owned our homes and our businesses and our banks, insurance companies, and hotels. We were united and organized, prepared for attacks, planning for progress, proud and eager to preserve the power and prosperity we earned. Not now. We don't have that now. We don't own enough homes, banks, commercial districts, businesses. I want to see what King saw when he came up. He's gone. John Lewis is gone, but we are still here. And so is the racism and inequality they risked and gave their lives to fight. We are feeling what they felt back then, huh? Right? The systemic racism in education and housing and health and opportunity, the neglect, the exploitation, the attacks from the police. We feel what they felt. So we have to fight like they fought, and we need to buy like they bought. We need to fight like they fought and buy like they bought. King grew up in a time when the Black-owned banks, funeral homes, and insurance companies empowered and sustained the community. Those banks and businesses funded our rights, civic, and professional organizations like Black Achievers. This economic unity, those businesses, they inspired Dr. King. All that gave him the resources and the reasons to fight. So in those last days, after the bus boycott, after the March on Washington, the Civil Rights Act, after integration, after King started to fear that our civil rights victories might have come at the expense of our business ownership and entrepreneurial ones. And that's why in his famous mountaintop speech that he delivered the day before he was murdered, the day he led the protest in honor of the Black sanitation workers, King pivoted. He spoke of our collective buying power, and he urged an economic withdrawal from businesses that were discriminating against Black workers or mistreating Black customers. And not just that, King specifically fought for Black-owned businesses in that mountaintop speech, not just for the right to go to segregated, white-owned businesses. King said, we've got to strengthen Black institutions. I call upon you to take your money out of the banks downtown and deposit your money into Tri-State Bank. We want a bank-in movement in Memphis, not just a sit-in. We're just telling you to follow what we're doing. Put your money there. He asked America to support these banks and businesses, and then they killed him. And we've done nothing collectively to support our businesses or fight for economic equality since. Instead, in the 2 decades after Dr. King's murder, it became fashionable to abandon our Black banks and businesses, to show and prove that we were good enough to buy from businesses once denied to us. Within 20 years after we lost King, 85% of our over 120 Black-owned banks disappeared. The bank Jackie Robinson built so that Black families can get mortgages and Black entrepreneurs can get business loans, Freedom National Bank, is gone. We celebrate Jackie. We celebrate King when we talk about great American racial progress, but the banks they built and fought for, the banks that helped them make that progress, are dead. In the 1930s, grocery stores represented the largest category of Black-owned businesses. We had 6,400 grocery stores in the United States. Kellogg, when they did the famous study based on my family's year in 2010, they could only find evidence of 8 to 12 groceries owned by Black firms in this country. That's terrible for Black people and America. In North Philly, a predominantly Black area, for example, over 90% of the businesses there are not locally or Black owned. And that's what's happening there. That's representative of all similarly situated Black neighborhoods across America. I'm sure it's not too different in the predominantly Black areas in Cincinnati. You know that, you've seen that, you know it's not right. And that's why you're here. Black beauty supply stores in Black neighborhoods with 100% Black clientele. Less than 3% across America are Black owned, and not just the banks and groceries and beauty supply stores. We lost Black hair care too. The one industry birthed by the Black community, belonging to us, celebrating us, sustaining us, helping us, especially Black women, thrive and achieve the American dream. In 1986, again, less than 2 decades after King died, telling us to buy Black, Irving J. Botner, CEO of Revlon, when asked about competition from Black-owned firms in the Black hair care industry, Botner said this to Newsweek. He said, in the next couple of years, the Black-owned businesses will disappear. They'll all be sold to white companies. And he was right. We made him right. Spout and wave, less jam, carefree curl, strength of nature, cream of nature, dark and lovely, smooth and shine, dark and natural, stay soft row, Carol's daughter, all owned by L'Oreal, a French company owned by Liliane Bettencourt, who died in 2017 as the world's richest woman. By 2000, L'Oreal owned all the largest Black hair care companies. And a couple of years ago, Unilever, Dutch owned, put the nail in the coffin when they bought Nubian brands. That's all the Shea Moisture products. All these brands and companies are no longer Black owned. All the customers are still Black. And the fantastic Black-owned companies we do still have can't get into the big retailers because the L'Oreals and the Unilevers edge them out. Less than 5% of the Black hair care section represents Black-owned companies. And I'm fighting this unjust lack of ownership, representation, and transparency in the Black hair care industry. We can talk about that later. But the point is, what happened to our Black hair care industry is what's at the very core of what ails the Black community. It's why we can't win. All those jobs and businesses, all those billions and billions in Black intergenerational wealth and entrepreneurship from our Black hair care, just gone. And no one even cares. Why? Why? That's what Botner wanted. That's what he promised and planned for and predicted. Our own Langston Hughes also predicted what would happen to us without economic unity. He wrote this poem called The Ballad of Booker T. The tallest tower can tumble down if it not be rooted in solid ground. So being a far-seeing practical man, he said, train your head, your heart, and your hand. Your fate is here and not afar. So let down your bucket where you are. Your fate is here and not afar. So let down your bucket where you are. Put your money there, King said. Let down your bucket, Langston said. So I pour into my bucket every day. My coffee, my home alarm system, my dry cleaner, my pediatrician, my dentist, my neurologist, my optometrist, my reading glasses, John's contacts and glasses, our wine, our vodka, our whiskey, our pizza, our popcorn, all the seasonings I use, my sauces, my patty, sweet potato pies, our nightclubs, John's dress shirts, his suits and ties and cufflinks, all my makeup, my perfume, my hair products, the restaurants we go to, the coffee shops, my daughter's orthodontist, their dentist, Corey's dermatologist, John's chiropractor, all my designer purses and shoes, my nail salon, my spa, what else? Oh yes, my mortgage, all Black owned. This is how I live my life. I'm not some depressed and overworked activist because I have to look for Black firms. Once I let my bucket down, that part is not as hard as you think and not nearly as hard as the situation is dire. And here's the ticker. Are you ready? Here's the ticker. I'm still fly. I'm still fly. I buy Black every day and I'm still fly. And yes, my glasses are Black owned. Black company, there it is. Tape this so you can keep track. And my makeup is on point. I'm fly with my glasses, I'm fly with my makeup, and I buy Black every day. Lamite Cosmetics. Sister Kim Roxy has been in business for 16 years, giving young girls in Houston a business to learn from and believe in, while so many think that all they have in that part of Houston are bullets to dodge. So I let my bucket down and I'm still fly, and my money and my mortgage are still safe, FDIC insured with Black-owned banks like One United Bank, the largest Black-owned bank, and it's 100% internet friendly. You can open an account now while you're listening to me. No excuses. I have money in 3 Black community banks. Now I have money in other banks too. I have money in Fifth Third. But when I think about Dr. King being killed, asking me to put my money into a Black-owned bank, I found a way to put some of my money in Black-owned banks. How can we say that we want economic empowerment and equality and we don't even put money in our banks? How many Black banks do you have money in? That should have been the question tonight. That's not a rhetorical one either. Now I know we're all scared. We're worried about this racism and the pandemic and how it disproportionately hurts the Black community. I am too. And just like you, to protect myself and my family, my neighbors in this pandemic, I use hand sanitizer. To empower my community though, I use Safeisha hand sanitizer. Safeisha hand sanitizer. I don't even have to tell you. Y'all know that's Black owned. Safeisha, come on now. You know that's Black. The point is, our being in a pandemic does not mean we have to press pause on our fight against racism or a commitment to economic equality. We have to do all of it. Or am I asking too much? Did King ask too much when he urged us to support Black institutions? Did Langston ask too much when he asked us to let our bucket down? Am I wasting my time here tonight? Because companies like Hennessy, with over 80% of their U.S. revenues coming from the Black community and no Black distributors, no significant advertising in Black-owned media, no accounts in Black-owned banks. With that kind of money, there should be Hennessy hospitals in Harlem. There should be a new chemistry lab at every HBCU. Hennessy should have funded the new Black Achievers Entrepreneurship and Empowerment Research and Advocacy Center, and I should be teaching at it. Seriously though, 80% and not even a supplier diversity program. They're thriving while Black communities, their consumers communities are under attack and falling apart. But no one talks about that. No one asks for, does, or demands better. And because we don't ask, because we don't talk about it, we don't take the next step and let our buckets down for Heritage Link Brands, a wonderful Black-owned wine importer owned by husband and wife Harvard MBAs, my friends Carrie and Selena Cuff. Heritage is my wine company. It's the largest company in the wine industry to trade and sell Africa's Black-made wines. One of those winemakers is House of Mandela, led by the women of the Mandela family, Makasiwi and Takwini, respectively the daughter and granddaughter of Nelson Mandela. Together, Heritage, House of Mandela, and people like me who buy their wine, we create jobs for Black people in South Africa and America while our brothers and sisters keep buying Hennessy. One of my favorite Heritage Link Brands wines is called Bukatrabe. And I drink a lot of Bukatrabe. A lot of Bukatrabe. Not every day, just let's say Sunday through Wednesday. Then Thursday through Saturday, I switch to Uncle Nearest whiskey. Oh, is today Thursday? So I guess I need to switch to my whiskey. Uncle Nearest whiskey is Black-owned, award-winning, owned by a Black family, run by a Black woman, Fawn Weaver, who named her premium whiskey company after the slave and master distiller known as Nearest, credited for teaching the young Jack Daniels the craft of whiskey making. Now, Sister Weaver represents and reinvests in the Black community with her success, even as she faces unfair, utterly racist treatment in the tight-knit liquor industry. She is representing us. So we should represent her. Every day I drink that Bukatrabe or that Uncle Nearest. Every day I make that sacrifice because ain't nothing Maggie Anderson won't do for the movement. So if I have to drink that wine for my people, I'll drink that wine. If I have to drink these old fashions and these Manhattans, then I will. If I have to do that for my people, I will. Because each sip is for the movement. It's for King, for Selena and Carrie, for the Mandelas, for Dawn Weaver, for Uncle Nearest, for Africa. Now, I don't know if I can get y'all to march like I march or change the way you spend like I do, but can I get somebody to have a drink with me? Come on, y'all. I'm talking big things here. I'm being serious now. I'm talking to our sponsors and partners too. I don't just want to hear about how you're going to use a Black caterer for the next community breakfast. I'm not asking for more Black Lives Matter banners on your website. All that is nice, is necessary, but at the same time, it's ceremonial and cursory. It whiffs of charity, not change, pats on the back, not progress. This is my message to our friends and allies who are new to this movement, have seen the pain of this year and have the best intentions and want to do the work in 2021. If you want what we want, you have to open yourselves up to the hurt and the hypocrisy, the lies, and how so much has been lost and taken from us. You have to see and feel what the Black achievers care about and are fighting for. You can't just jump in, say the right stuff, donate some money, and get equality and justice. You gotta wade around in here and feel some of this pain, see what this has been like for the Black people who are probably nowhere near this session today, the people whom we hardly engage, but claim we want to empower. Them, we have to go to them, appreciate their pain, and then apologize, see their truth, and then plan for progress from their perspective. That's why we have Black achievers. You don't fight racism and inequality by just promising to hire a couple Black folks or up your diversity spending. The promises don't show sincere empathy. and respect for the struggle Michael Moore faces to thrive as an entrepreneur and simply survive as a Black man. The promises help your PR, but they do nothing to address the pain, nothing to address this group's mission of collective economic empowerment. Are you ready to partner with and invest in some Black-run mutual funds or Black-owned banks and venture capital firms and real estate funds? Are you ready to ask the big corporations you engage, your big funders, about Black firms and their supply chains? Do that. Do these things. Then we can celebrate real justice and empowerment. Then we can have a toast with some Uncle Nearest. And for my sisters and brothers and Black achievers, I want to challenge you too. The question for you is, are you ready to compel this change and fight racism with your buying power and your business success? Are you ready to leave the empty and easy life like I did and choose to sacrifice? Are you ready for public, consistent solidarity? I want justice. I want financial security, role models, clean, safe neighborhoods for my children. Do you? Because I'm willing to sacrifice for it. I'm not asking Walmart or for it. I'm not begging the government for it. I'm done holding my breath for President Trump. And even though I love Biden and Harris, I'm not waiting on them to deliver it either. Now, don't get me wrong. Corporate America, the big brands and designers, they owe us. With our talent and our buying power, we've grown and glorified the biggest brands, designers, and retailers. The American government owes us. With our blood and brilliance, we built this country, fought for this country, delivered its economic foundation, and have no equity, no return. They owe us. But what about me? What about you? I owe us too. I owe my people, my community, my culture, my ancestors. I owe them my love, my faith, my solidarity, my unconditional support, my on-call and on-demand ride or die back. I owe all of that. And you do too, Black achievers. Yes, we are right and we are owed, but the onus is not on corporate America or any form of government or any of our partners and sponsors and investors to empower our community. Equality is our guarantee. We are entitled to that, but we must earn our empowerment. We must earn it. So are you ready? We got to do it. We have to start that bank-in movement that Dr. King asked for. Join our Black chambers, subscribe to and advertise in Black-owned press, buy all of our hair care and beauty products from Black-owned companies. Make sure all of your professional services, accountants, doctors, contractors, all come from our community. Make sure we visit local Black-owned businesses at least 4 times a month. Make sure you have money in a Black-owned bank. All of this, public, collective, our Black civic and rights and professionals groups, we have to ask our sponsors, our allies, for money or for engagement of our Black entrepreneurs and institutions. Black achievers, let's ask our partners and sponsors to see the Black firms and professionals they're doing business with, and let's show them the ones that we're doing business with. So awesome that you have this new directory. Now let's put it to work. We can do this together. Then we have a movement in 2021. That's what we got to do. We can't do that. Y'all know I'm right. Y'all know Professor Barack, President Obama was right. We have to lead the way. We have to poke and provoke and prod to perfect justice. We got to push. We got to purchase in a way that puts the Black community first for a change. That's how we make Black Lives Matter. As long as we keep ignoring what's right in front of us, what King and Langston told us Black lives won't matter. We can protest all night and day, but we must stop fighting racism with our protests, then enabling racism with our purchases. That's our challenge for 2021, and I really believe we can meet it. I believe now, even as there is so much death and distress, I still believe, like King did, because I've peered over the mountaintop too. And the taller I stand, the more I see into the promised land. And I'm telling you, when we stand up together as women, as sisters and brothers, as believers and business owners, Black and not, as friends and allies, as Americans, supporting each other, listening to each other, lifting each other up, we can not only see over the mountaintop, we move mountains. Do you believe that? United, we make our own miracles. United, we cross that bridge in Selma. United, we march 385 days straight in Montgomery. We move mountains. We make miracles because united, we always have more power than pain. Brothers and sisters, I've given you the stats, the history, the research, Langston, L'Oreal, the banks, Selena's wine, Safisha sanitizer. But you know what? Sometimes no one can break it down like our mamas. In those last weeks when Mima knew the end was near with pancreatic cancer, she gave her strength to me because she knew I thought I couldn't do this without her. Before she passed, she said this to me, Mija, I'm going to go out fighting. Are you? And that's really all I've been trying to say to you tonight, my Black achievers. I'm going to go out fighting. Are you? Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm Maggie Anderson. Thank you. I love you guys. Please, please, please. By the supports our foundation and the movement.
Oh,
I
man.
look forward
I
to
love
Jackie
it.
Cincinnati.
Yay.
I love you guys.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you, my sister.
Yeah, that was good. Outstanding.
Yeah, bravo, bravo.
Outstanding.
Bravo.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate
Thank
that.
you so much.
Awesome, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. I love you. I really do. Love you
We're right.
guys.
Thank you,
Fantastic.
Maggie. Thank you so much.